Is Moana a demigod now? This movie was fun, but I preferred the first movie. The hero of the first movie, Chief Tui, takes a back seat in this movie. He's completely resigned to his daughter's wayward exploration, and other than a brief intro that serves only to tell us that he's completely given up on any kind of parenting whatsoever, Chief Tui is almost completely absent from this movie. Moana has taken up the challenge of finding other Polynesian people now that the life-giving power of Te Fiti has been restored to its rightful place. After some exploration, she has a vision that reveals that the great god Nalo has cursed the people such that they'll never find each other. Rather than doing his fatherly duty and keeping her home and safe, Chief Tui sends her off with his blessing. And of course, the logical, predictable, expected thing happens: she dies. Let that be a lesson to all fathers everywhere. All that stands between us and the death of our daughters is our constant and unwavering vigilance. Apathy in the face of a dangerous, cold, harsh world is not an option. Of course, with a theology nerd like me, one of the obvious questions this story raises is how exactly to define the difference between a god like Nalo and a demigod like Maui, and the ancestors like Moana's grandmother, and the animal spirits and monsters that we saw in the first movie. This is one of the aspects of ancient people that I feel like this movie, and to a lesser extent the first movie, captured about the ancient way of looking at the world. So often, the modern way of looking at the world sees the mysterious aspects of the world, be they cryptids or divine beings, as being distant. The ancients saw them as being an integral part of daily life. Maui, a demigod, was capable of incredible feats of strength that included lifting an island off the floor of the sea. He could find a place to stand in the sky to leverage against while pulling. However, just regular people met him. A regular farmer and a regular librarian. These regular people also meet a goddess, Matangi. They also meet monsters and creatures. The world of mystery isn't way out there where they can't reach it. It's here and now waiting to find them. I live this life with my son. He's a Bigfoot believer. He also believes in the Loch Ness Monster and living thylacines, but he focuses on Bigfoot because Bigfoot is supposed to have a range that encompasses our home area. Anytime the garbage can has been moved or there's a strange sound outside that he doesn't recognize, my son entertains the possibility that it could be Bigfoot visiting mere yards away from his bedroom, ready to be discovered and appreciated. There are several good lessons for us in this. Instead of looking to some far distant time and place for God and his angels, we should look in the here and now. Sometimes in the modern world, we forget that God is always with us and always working around us. For some, they think God's only purpose is to stamp our passport to heaven. They ignore any aspect of God's current judgment and guidance. For others, they forget that God knows their thoughts and sees their responses. They delay changing their lives to correspond to God's while thinking that God will wait for them in the future at whatever distance, and the here and now is meaningless. God doesn't ask us to repent for his benefit. God isn't far off and unaware. God is right here, right now, inviting us into his life always and forever. Even beyond God, many of the things that we fall into the habit of thinking are far and strange are really close and normal for those that we know. As a father to a special needs child, it amazes me to learn how many people I've met that see disability as something rare and negligible. For me, it's daily. I'm not immune to this myself, though. I've never faced true poverty, and it's easy for me to forget that there are people struggling to get back on their feet after a little bad luck or a few bad choices. And so on the examples go. These things we struggle to connect with aren't rare, distant, or strange. They're just invisible to us because we aren't looking. Moan brings her friends with her as she explores the strange world, taking on the dangers. It kills her. However, Moana faced her death with strength, courage, and commitment to what's right. Because of this, She met new life where her or was restored, and she had a new set of tattoos similar to those of Maui. This is not entirely dissimilar to what we as Christians hope for. By following Christ forcefully, courageously, and righteously, we hope to meet our leader in a new life with power and immortality. While some of the particulars of how this new life gets granted may not be exactly the message I want my own daughter to walk away with, I do hope that whatever life throws at her, she can be strong and brave and right.